After arriving here, I was working for a European company. Most safari companies are not locally owned, are mostly European owned or Western owned companies. And what I noticed where there was the indiscrepancy in the wages.
Okay.
I, for instance, I was considered an expert, but still a black expert. So I was slightly paid better than the Tanzanian people. But you could notice that my colleagues, my Western colleagues who are also living in Africa, were getting better commissions, better
Really?
wages than I. Even like some of these companies, they don't even pay taxes in Tanzania.
Oh.
They have their bank accounts in the abroad in other countries. So that should be an
Imagine.
indicator for you where you are putting your money in.
Welcome, fam, to a new episode of Plan B Back to Africa, where I share my journey through the African continent together with my two children. And this time, also, my mom is joining us. I have surprised her with a safari trip in Tanzania, and I am so happy and I feel so honored to have met Jasmine. Thank you, Jasmine, for joining us today.
It's a pleasure.
Jasmine has started her own safari company, and she's taking us through an unforgettable safari trip and a beautiful time here in Tarangire and the Serengeti National Park. And I found Jasmine online because I was specifically searching the internet for black-owned safari companies. And then I found this article from Travel Noir, bless you, fam, where I found her page and her contacts. And yeah, this is how our paths crossed. And it's a very inspiring journey. And today we have Jasmine with us for an interview. And I am sure we can learn a lot from her. And I also hope that you find value in it. So, Jasmine, first, thanks for joining this interview. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi guys, my name is Jasmine. I'm a safari specialist based here in Arusha, Tanzania. I'm the founder of Sarafika Tours and Safaris. It's a tour company based in Arusha, Tanzania. We offer private and custom-made safaris and personalized tours in and around Tanzania.
Jasmine, what inspired you to start Sarafika Tours?
Thank you for your question. I was inspired to start Sarafika Tours after my visit in 2021. I was visiting my family and I decided to do a safari in northern Tanzania. That's where Serengeti is, Tarangire, Ngorongoro, and Lake Manyara National Park. And I decided to do a safari, and after 5 months, that was in December, I decided to move back. I already had plans to move back eventually. The weather in northern Tanzania was very good for me. It's cooler, but also tropical, not too hot, not too warm. That spoke to me. And I wanted to move back actually after being 15 years abroad.
Where exactly?
In the Netherlands.
Okay.
Yeah. And so when I came back, like most people here, I started to look for a job. And I was working for a big safari company. And that's how I rolled in, basically.
Okay.
And I worked there for like 1.5 years.
From 2021.
Exactly, from 2021 and until late 2022, I should say. And that after that job, this inspired me to start my own venture. And I started Sarafika Tours.
What is the meaning of Sarafika Tours?
Very good question. Sarafika Tours, I was inspired by the word safari, and fika means arriving, and in Swahili, so it's basically arriving back and reconnecting back with your roots. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yes. Yeah.
And how was it actually for you to, after having lived in the Netherlands for such a long time,
yeah.
to even if it's just as an employer at the beginning,
Exactly.
the different working environment, how did you adapt to it in the beginning?
Yeah, in the Netherlands, I worked in interior design for a big interior design company. That's my background. And I speak Dutch. So the company which I started working for, I was directly dealing with the Dutch clients. And that was very different. In the Netherlands, I had a 9 to 5 job. And here I was mostly working hybrid or completely remote. So that was a good reason. And that was also just after and during COVID. So it was great to be in Tanzania during that time and have the ability and the privilege to work from home. Yes. Yeah.
And did you always know that you want to live in Tanzania again one day, or?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like the most diaspora people who always say one day you will go back. I was those people, and that trip really inspired me to move back to Tanzania. And after that safari trip, I was immediately looking for a place to stay in Tanzania, and also the food was fresh, something I was not very used to anymore, and like the old foods I used to eat when I was young, like chapati maharage, for example. And the fresh fruits, Arusha, Tanzania in general have one of the best fresh fruits,
Yes,
I believe.
absolutely.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
and everything is organic and good for you.
Can you share your journey as a black female tour operator here in Tanzania?
Yes, that is a very interesting topic because after arriving here, I was working for a European company. Most safari companies are not locally owned, are mostly European owned or Western owned companies. And what I noticed where there was the indiscrepancy in the wages.
Okay.
I, for instance, I was considered an expert, but still a black expert. So I was slightly paid better than the Tanzanian people. But you could notice that my colleagues, my Western colleagues who are also living in Africa, were getting better commissions, better
Really?
wages than I.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you give us some numbers, like, to understand how big the discrepancy is?
Yeah, I think they had more wages because they were considered, you had to deal with moving back here as a European, as
God.
a Western, and you carry this burden to live your comfortable life in the West to come here, so you should be compensated more. It comes
God.
from that narrative. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
When in reality they're living their best lives here,
Absolutely.
right? Wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but like, what else was like something that you struggled with in your journey as a black female tour operator here in Tanzania?
I have to say, starting the company was very smooth. It's just, it's a very highly male-dominated industry. So trying to figure, because we work with a lot of male guides. So this was it's a very male-dominated industry. So they're not used to taking orders from a female. I don't want to enforce that narrative of the African men, but it was hard to deal with in the beginning. But it's just a way of navigating that and accepting that things are done differently in Africa. Yes.
So you had to adapt to
You have
this,
to adapt. Yes, you have to adapt to it. Yes, yes. Yeah.
which is not always easy, right?
Which is not always easy.
Jasmine, how does your personal connection to Africa influence the way that you design the safari experience for your clients?
Okay. I think, yeah, I'm an African woman. I'm African. I was born here in Tanzania. When we craft our itineraries, we keep in mind, we make it in a way, in a fashion that is respectful to our clients, that they enjoy one location and one destination longer, so that it doesn't feel rushed. And that is one thing. Another thing, what we do is, like, for example, also the activities which we offer, we try to make it as authentic as possible, that it's not staged for the for the Western gaze, and that it feels authentic, and it's also respectful to the indigenous people you are visiting. Yes. Yeah, I think this makes it different, and how we offer, and we try to incorporate as much as we can locally owned properties, like where we are now, and others as well. Yes. Yeah.
Yes, and I can definitely like attest to that. I really love the way that you designed our itinerary. I remember when I told you that I want to visit a Maasai village, not for the reasons that most people want to visit the Maasai village, but just to witness how my mom connects to the people. Because when I first visited a Maasai village, during my tour a few years back, my first safari tour, it was not authentic at all. It was very staged. And as you said, for the Western gaze, that reinforces stereotypes, Western stereotypes about the Maasai people's supposed primitiveness, you know. Ever since, and after the safari I told you that I did in Kenya, there was also like a stop in a Maasai village, and I was with my children and I refused to take them there. I said, you just drop us here and you take the other ones to the Maasai village. We're not going inside, because I didn't like that, you know.
Exactly.
And so I loved when I told you that I want to have this experience for my mom, that you found a solution and connected me to Elder Tete, to a Maasai village that is not for the tourists, but where you can, like, for those who genuinely want to learn and understand about their way of life, that you were able to still provide me with this experience, but in an authentic way that respects the people, you know,
the environment.
and the environment. I really appreciate that. And I was wondering, after this experience, is that something that you could also offer others? Like, because I know this Maasai village that you took us to is not a touristy village. It's not open for tourists.
Exactly.
But let's say my friend says, I want to have the same experience. I want to visit a Maasai village, learn from them firsthand, really understand and connect with them on a deeper level.
Exactly. So thanks to my Tanzanian connections, we can offer this authentic, cultural experiences in an authentic way. One way is engaging with, like, a real Maasai community elder like Tete, to let him know, hey, this is what the clients want, but what can you offer us? And he can speak to them, because these villages are not open to the tourists. Real Maasai villages are not open to tourists. So when we contact them, they should give us permission, basically, to have permission to come to their environment and interact with them in an authentic way. Another way, activity we also offer is, if you want real authentic Maasai experiences, is for example, there is a lodge in Western Kilimanjaro called Africa Amini, or Oseliglai Lodge.
I heard about them there. It's run by Maasai people,
It's run
right?
by Maasai
Yes,
people,
yes.
exactly. So this is an authentic way of interacting with Maasai people, because the Maasai it's 2025. They are not living like 50 years ago or 20 years ago. They also have jobs now. Some of them also went to school. So, and some of them choose to stay in their villages, and these villages happens also to have a lodge, and the 99% of the staff who work there are also Maasai. So
Nice.
yeah, and this they can tell you more about their culture. They can invite you to their ceremonies and rituals. So this is an authentic way of experiencing Maasai culture. Yeah.
I really appreciate your approach. Really, that's very unique, you know, because I think most safari tour companies are really like focusing on the mainstream and satisfying, like you said, the Western gaze, and and in fact, like people live with reinforced stereotypes, and what we want to do is when we travel to break stereotypes, right?
Absolutely.
Apart from this, what else sets Sarafika Tours apart from other safari companies? I mean, this is already a big,
Yeah.
big plus, like the authenticity, the authentic experiences that you offer. But what else is there that makes you stand out?
I think what also makes us stand out is our staff. We have a small team where of 5 people, and the majority are female.
Okay.
Hopefully in the future we would love to have also a female guide.
Okay, yeah. There's not available right now?
They're very limited.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. So this is what sets us apart, and we really try to encourage young girls and women to also get into tourism, and be employed in tourism, and be also stakeholders in the tourism industry.
How does Sarafika Tours support local communities and maybe also conservation efforts here in Tanzania?
Exactly. So conservation efforts, what we try to help with is we try to eliminate plastic as much as possible. Especially that as much as plastic goes in our vehicles to the safari national parks, so there is no littering, there is no traces left inside the park. That is one thing. We also try to not offer also activities which also involve captive animals.
Okay.
Yeah.
They still do these things?
There is still these things, unfortunately.
My God.
Yeah. We don't offer those services. I think the wildlife is more experienced better in the national park, in their in the environment where they belong. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I agree. What do you think is the biggest misconception people have about African tourism?
I think biggest misconception people have is lack of safety. People think, we live in hut muds, all of us, or in trees, I've heard.
And basically, living in a mud hut is genius.
Yeah.
Like that is what I learned in the Maasai village today.
Yeah.
And I knew this already before, you know.
Yeah. We also have brick houses, and we have luxury. There is luxury in Africa, and it's there to be experienced.
Where we are.
Exactly. This is a testament to it.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's the biggest misconception. And the safety thing. Tanzania is one of the safest countries in Africa. Kenya is very safe. These countries are all very safe, and they are waiting for you to explore. Yes. Yes.
And what else? Like you have worked with many customers, right? Especially from the Western world.
Yeah.
What are like statements they make that make you cringe, that make you roll your eyes? And
Well, we've had few. If I speak about the most recent one, which I encountered or heard of, was people who were afraid of being eaten by a lion.
Oh, wait.
Which I can understand where the fear comes from, because you are in a national park, but as you know, most of this wildlife are actually more afraid of humans than us having to be afraid of them. And that's one of the misconceptions which we encounter. Or like there is like is there what kind of food are we going to eat, is there food, those kind of questions. Yeah, and we have to tell the client there is plenty of food.
Really? This is something that you have to deal with.
Yes.
In a sense, I think we can also not blame them, because look at the media that they consume.
Yeah, you cannot blame them. Most what they hear is when there is a war, or where there is maybe famine, and this is unfortunately what they consume and what they hear. And there is it's never on the news when there is good things happening. It's always news. It's majority always bad.
True.
Thankfully, I believe this misconception is also changing, as we are seeing a lot of people also, thanks to social media as well. This is also helping a lot to see people, to show people, authentic and the real Africa. And it's not all just wars and famine, and that we have also beauty in Africa.
Jasmine, how can travelers ensure they are booking with ethically and locally owned safari companies?
I think most important is do your research. You can find this very easily just by visiting the website and see if there is contact information of this company you are interested in booking with, and see how their social media platforms are set up. Are they also showing other diverse and people of color? Are they doing all these things? And this is very crucial, and you can do this research very easily online. Yes.
I noticed also some have like a foreign phone number, like the contact number.
Yeah.
Is this also an indicator that maybe it's a foreign owned company?
Absolutely. Yeah. And even like some of these companies, they don't even pay taxes in Tanzania. They have their bank accounts in abroad in other countries. So that should be an indicator for you where you are putting your money in.
Imagine.
Yes.
So it's so easy actually to open a safari company without paying taxes in Tanzania.
It's not easy, but some of them they do get away with it.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And they might do some very creative bookkeeping. Yeah, so that should be an indicator for you, like where is the actually funds going to? Is it a Tanzanian bank account even? Yeah.
Last question, Jasmine. Where do you see Sarafika Tours in the next 5 years?
Hopefully organizing even more epic safaris and adventures in Tanzania, and that consists of very beautiful bucket list locations and glamping location, hot air, sunrise balloon safaris, and keep on going on track. Yeah.
I think I have one more last question.
Okay.
Which, in this vision that you have, this beautiful vision, what role does maybe the African diaspora plays that wants to reconnect with their roots and discover the African continent that has never been on the African continent? You know, there's a growing interest for Tanzania now, especially since social media is a big thing. It has put Tanzania on the map, Zanzibar, places like Zanzibar and Tanzania mainland. So does the African diaspora play a role in your vision? Do you have this vision to help them to reconnect with their roots?
Absolutely. We actually want to invite, come see your motherland. It's there for you to explore. Everyone is coming, so why not you?
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, and we will come. Or what do you think, fam? Shall I organize group trips? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much, Jasmine.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed our interview. And your story is very, very inspiring. Maybe one more question, or let me say advice for my audience. There are so many in the diaspora who dream of moving to the African continent and start their own business. And as someone who has gone through this process, what is your number one advice for someone who is still dreaming and who hasn't taken the first step yet?
Yeah, my advice for you is do it. Dare to do it. And first come and see what you think. Or experience it for yourself. Don't come to immediately to start a business, but come to visit first for a vacation. Experience it. Yeah, make your own. Create your own input and see what the experience and the vibe is like, and then make your decision. But try to work and create a community, people of who you trust with, and this is very crucial. And yeah, take it from there. Yeah, you can do it.
And you know what's the best part? I'm about to start a community like that for people who have the plan to move back to the African continent. So stay tuned, fam. I think what you just mentioned is so important, to have a community of like-minded people,
Exactly. Yeah.
people who support each other and who celebrate their milestones together and who push each other also, you know? Because it's always more easier if you have a group of people behind you that believe in you, that also have the same vision like you.
Yeah.
Many people are held back by fear and doubt, which mainly also comes from the people in their circle, right? People who don't believe in your dream, in your vision of moving to the African continent and starting something big, you know? And so that is why I can't wait to finally start this community. I will keep you up to date. And yeah, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode and that you found some value in it. Thank you so much, Jasmine.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us and for organizing this really like once in a lifetime experience for me and my children and my mom. It means so much to me.
It's a pleasure. Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye.